All right. Questions for KD?
Hey, Cap, Joe Borgay, PHNX Sports down here. Congrats on the gold medal.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. Congrats on the gold medal. I was just curious from your conversations with Mike Budenholzer, how have those gone, and what do you kind of anticipate when you look forward to this season in terms of how you guys want to play?
Coach just getting to know each one of his players individually as people first, and once we all get on the court starting tomorrow, we kind of get a feel for each other on the floor. But Bud and the staff has been really cool. They're just trying to get to know one another. I mean, it's kind of hard to figure out your identity as a team throughout the summer when you first get a job and finding your staff and trying to understand the players on your team. So these last 2 weeks, us getting some pickup games in, being around each other, was key for us. And we got to understand one another, understand the coaching staff and what they want from us, and hopefully, now we can move forward with training camp and preseason games and kind of build out who we are.
Yes, Kevin Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. First, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Second, I'm curious when you look at the season in terms of what you guys brought in the offseason. Tyus, Monte, Plumlee. How do you like those fits with the group? It's basically, essentially, pretty much all from last year. And then, two, just how do you even approach when you may be up for an extension? How do you even do it mentally? Do you even just say, I'm going to go play and whatever happens, happens? How do you process all that?
Your first question is always good adding players to your team that are veterans with high IQ that can actually still provide good minutes for you. Tyus, Monte, Mason, we got a couple other guys, the rookies, the guys, Oso, Ryan, Jalen. We got guys that can come in and that can still provide us a good spark that are different, got different skill sets. So looking forward to building with them. As far as extension, I'm 2 years out from. I got 2 years left on my contract. I'm focused on being the best that I can every day in the moment, and we'll figure that stuff out when it's time.
Katie, Richard Science, Fox 10, good to see you again. Congrats on the gold.
Thank you.
You talked about, some of the new additions. Matt talked about some of these guys took less money, could have got more money somewhere else. What does that say about the culture that you guys have kind of established here and about the individual person that's putting winning first?
Yeah, you gotta give those guys the most credit for seeing past money and wanting to be in a situation where they can help build towards something special. Credit to the front office and the staff for letting those guys know who we are, even though we didn't finish the season the way we wanted to. When you have a good front office and a good culture, you can still speak to guys regardless of that, and that's what they did throughout the summer. And also the city of Phoenix helped us out as well. So many players love coming here, love playing here, love being here. So that helps us out as well. So having new additions to the team is a plus, and now we're looking forward to seeing how it works on the floor.
Kevin, how do you envision Tyus contributing to the chemistry amongst you, Booker, and Bill?
Just another veteran presence that been around great players throughout his career. Played in different roles where he's coming off the bench, had to fill in for guys that were injured, got traded to a Washington team where he had to assume the starting role. So he's been in different situations, and so a guy who's seen a lot in this league is always good. And so being around on the last 2 weeks, seeing this game, being able to figure out how I can help as well has been fun. So I'm looking forward to practice.
Mark McClune, Arizona's Family Sports. Good to see you. I wonder if you could describe the feeling of standing up on the podium with winning gold this summer, and if that feeling at all, did that reinforce anything of getting back to the grind here and chasing the championship in the NBA?
I wouldn't say it reinforced anything. It's always good to win and feel winning and understand what goes into it, how much of a grind it is. Even though that was a condensed period, it's just a month. We crammed a lot of stuff in for that month, so it was good on the brain to understand what it takes every day to become a winner. Sometimes you can go through the motions a bit throughout your career when you haven't been on that podium sometimes. So it's good to refresh the brain a bit. But that's always the goal when you've been in this league so long and you have experience winning and being on top, that Regardless of what happened last season, that's still always the goal. But being around some of the best players in the world of all time, and then some of the best athletes throughout the whole world, and representing in my country was unmatched. So I had a great time.
Kevin, Doug Haller with The Athletic. You mentioned how things finished last year. When things don't go the way you like and you get swept, does that stick with you throughout an off season, motivate you? I mean, is it always there, or do you move past it pretty quickly?
Yeah, you tend to move past it. I mean, it's a long summer, man. We lose in April. I'm not gonna be thinking about it in June, July. You figure out you understand what went into the season and why the outcome was the outcome, and move on from there. Have it all that takes, to be honest. So I try to figure that out pretty quickly, and seeing how I can add to making things different and go from there.
Kevin, Luis Schwartzman, Ice Kicks. Obviously, things got a little tense between you and Nike with the whole winning isn't for everyone campaign, and then, am I a bad person? No, you're the baddest. Have you guys talked? How's everything? KD 18 coming up. How's that looking?
Yeah, everything's on schedule, just like it always is. Sometimes you have conversations like that amongst family and move on.
Kevin, Dana Scott, Arizona Republic, congratulations on the gold medal. Lloyd.
Oh, my bad. Thank you.
Two-part questions. Thinking about how you had some rotation in the lineups in last season where you played sometimes with the second unit, how do you feel that if Grayson being possibly moved to the second unit and Bowl coming back, how they can impact the team together? And also the second part of that is you grew up in the D.C. area, and Dikembe Mutombo just died this morning. So growing up around that Georgetown second wave of Hawaii paranoia, you're very young. You probably remember Iverson more. But what would you say about that Georgetown team in that area and what it did for the city?
Yeah, rest in peace to Dikembe. Mutombo was a iconic figure in the basketball world as I was growing up. Like you mentioned, playing in Washington, D.C., Georgetown area, a lot of those big men have left their mark on basketball in that area, dating back to the late 80s, early 90s, and Dikembe was one of those guys. And then have an opportunity to play against him in the NBA and meet him in different events and just see the type of person he was. It reinforced that our great people walking around here every day, regardless of status, regardless of how successful you are, he still remained true to who he was as a person, and I appreciated that every time I seen him. My condolences out to his family, friends, everybody that knew him. That's a huge loss. If you ever met Dikembe, he just brightened up the whole room. So, and I wasn't even that tight with him, and, so I'm sure so many people going through a lot of emotions right now. So he meant so much to the game, and rest in peace.
Annie, last one. Kevin, congratulations on your 4th Olympic
Thank you.
medal and leading the USA in scoring. But, you were there for more than half of Diana Taurasi's 6 times in the Olympics. And talk about the impact she had on you as an Olympian and then her work ethic here in Phoenix.
Yeah, DT has done so much for basketball as a whole. I remember her as a high school, middle school player, her setting an example for basketball in the women's game, introducing some people to the women's game when she was coming out of UConn, and to be with one franchise her whole career and reach the pinnacle and all-time leading scorer. Did she play 20 years in the league? 20 years, championships, gold medals, done it all. Still DT that I met 15 years ago. So I appreciate what she's brought to the game of basketball, this area in Phoenix and the whole Arizona. And I think she still got some time left. I think she got a couple more years to play. But we'll see. Even if she doesn't, she can walk away with her head held high for what she's done to the game.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll have Bradley Beal up right now.